Yo, 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 welcome back, family. Your friend, your family member is back with another one. And tonight, we're going to dive into some things. A lot of times I talk about drinking, but I had some events take place last night where I really had an opportunity to maybe introduce you to some of the traumas in the form of abuse that I will be overcoming here, and aggressively over the next year. And who knows how long, but I know over the next year, that is really where my focus is. So, yesterday, which was December 26th, I dropped a video, and just kind of just talking about life, where I am, and big transformations, and just a tad bit. I mentioned how it was my father's, um, it was his death day. The day after Christmas, 2018. I lost my father to suicide. All right. So cool, right? We got that. And as I stated then, I'm jumping right in. I went through a fairly simple grieving process. Yesterday, I didn't cry. Not to say that I don't cry. I cry a lot, especially when I feel the need to do that. But the essence of it is I feel at peace with losing my father. Does that mean that I'll never cry when I think of my dad again? No. But yesterday, because it was his death day, I didn't cry. And I say that to emphasize, maybe even overemphasize that I went through a normal grieving process. It was maybe 6 to 12 months. I'm not sure, but within 6 months, I wasn't crying every time I thought about my dad. I wasn't breaking down. You know, um, I was thinking about him a lot when I lost him. I dreamed about him like 3 times, like very early on. So anyway, also, I reconnected with my mother in 2020. I decided to go no contact with my mother. My mother is a very interesting woman, to say the least, okay? Especially from a psychological standpoint. So, but anyway, this past year, so during that time, right, I just want to bring you a little bit into my thinking. During that time when I decided to go, hey, boom, I'm done. No contact. This woman is not healthy for me. Oh, by the way, today's theme, growth, baby. And you got a little yin yang symbol with flowers. And on the bottom, it says, grow through what you go through. Let's do it, y'all. Let's do it. So I reconnected with my mother a year ago, literally a year ago. She moved to Las Vegas from Chicago. She really went with a guy, but once she got to Vegas, the guy started to show his true colors. Once he had her a little isolated, and she was away from her boys, who he know will, despite the fact that we don't talk. If we get a phone call that you doing some crazy stuff, it's activated. Okay, all black coming out. Him and we showing up in all black. You know what time it is, but I don't even want to talk about that. I done changed my life, but I come out of retirement by my mom. Yeah, my sisters, my nieces, all that. They got people that care about them, bro. Keep your hands to yourself. We don't do that around here. And the girls keep their hands to themselves too. All right. So he get her isolated. She get to see a different side of him. She break ties with him. Now she by herself. Right. Cool. Um, this was a year ago. Now this past August 2nd, she lose her cousin. Right. And that was interesting because I'm jumping around. All right, let me slow down. Prior to my mother losing her cousin, I would always think, Rome, do you think this is the best way to handle this situation? You already buried one parent. In the event that you had to bury another, your mother, would you be thinking, man, I could have handled this differently? Without a doubt, every time I say yes, I think so. How do I go about it? How do I don't know, but that I would wake up, and it was almost like 9 times out of 10 in the morning upon waking, like, what if I got a phone call right now that, make a long story short, August 2nd, I get a phone call, your cousin passed away. That's my mom's cousin. You know what I mean? Like, that's my big cousin. So her kids are my first cousins. Right away, I think about my cousin who passed away. I think about her. I thought about her son, my cousin Michi. I'm like, we call him Booby. I said, dang, Booby lost his mom. I said, cousin Daphne dead. That mean Booby and his sister don't got no mom. They just got memories. I said, man, I ask myself the same thing. I be imagining that. That's my cousin reality. It's not an imaginative thing for him. So as all of that transpired, me and my mother started to reconnect a little bit. And all along the way, it just been, I've been looking for the signs, you know what I mean? What my mother suffered from is she's a narcissist. And I know that's a term that people lose usually, but listen to me, it's not a joke. And if I had to put one word, a person who has apathy. They don't care. Ruthless, cutthroat. Yes, it's just sometimes she can be nice and love bomb you and make you good. Yes, but on the drop of a dime, she'll discard you. And that leave you more confused. Like, if you don't like me, just say you don't like me. Just treat me like the redheaded stepchild all the time. Don't pet me one day, not that I'm an animal, but you get me. Don't pet me one day and kick me the next day. Just kick me every day, so I know what type of time we on all the time. Because the back and forth, I think it's more draining than just kicking me every time you see me. At least I could just embrace myself for it and know what I'm gonna get, without a doubt. Cool. So within that time, and it's been good, you know what I mean? I love my mother despite her sickness. I am an adult child now, and I will take the lead in this situation, and I will assert boundaries. But that is my mother. I only get one mother, and she's aging now, and it's really getting interesting with her isms as she's aging. So anyway, and that's another thing, right? She got a knee replacement coming up. She all the way out in Las Vegas. The holidays here. Her cousin passed away. That's still heavy on her heart. And when her cousin passed away, they weren't even talking, right? So that's even more like, see what I'm saying? I thought about that, like, man, what if my mama passed away or I passed away and we're not even talking? It's eating her up more that her cousin had a little petty beef and then her cousin dropped. That's eating her up more, like, man, when they had to be like that. So that's why I'm going to take the lead, but at the same time, I'm at a place where I have to understand that the intimacy, it won't be there. Nor do I want it, because she's dangerous. And it's unfortunate. And that's why I used to drink so much alcohol to the point that when I was 34, probably younger than that, who knows, I started developing liver. I'm in the early stages of liver disease. Fatty liver. No bueno. Cut the alcohol out. Get on your top of your diet immediately. Okay. So, that's a little background, right, y'all? So, me and my mother, we spoke last night, and we talking, right? And she didn't have work, so you could tell she was in a good mood. Sound like she rolled up a blunt, because I hear her smoking, you know, and she feeling good. So as we talking, the conversation just kind of, you know, we going different ways, and she's like, oh yeah, what's today? She's like, today's the day after Christmas, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I said, I'm at peace with that. And then she thought about my stepmom and, you know, kind of reached out to her, but she was asleep, so then she called me back. So, not to be too wordy, I want to read something to you. Let me jump into this, because like I said, I don't have a script right now, y'all. I just get on here, I share my heart where I'm at, so that way once the snowball really start rolling, you can come back. So remember this lady I told you, Julie Hall, who wrote The Narcissist in Your Life? Well, she also has a blog called The Narcissist Family Files. NarcissistFamilyFiles.com is still up, and I just printed from it today. All right, because there was an article on my phone that I ended up going to go print. And it's before I spoke to my mom, the article had been there, because I studied this stuff. This is what I'm healing from. It's deep psychological craziness. And not to say apple don't fall from the tree. I definitely have some narcissistic traits, especially when I'm dysregulated. Some people, I used to say triggered all the time, but the real word is you get dysregulated, right? So the title is Why Narcissists Will Never Love You and It's Dangerous to Love Them. Whether you're an adult child, partner, spouse, or other family member of a person with NPD, that's narcissistic personality disorder. That's the far end of the spectrum, right? That's off the deep end, right? You know, we got a pool. You got 0 feet or whatever, 1 feet all the way to 10 feet. Narcissism, that's off the 10 feet, like off the radar, whatever. Okay, follow me. All right. NPD. Perhaps the most difficult aspect of the relationship is coming to grips with the fact that this person does not and will never love you. Narcissists may say they love you and even believe it. I gotta pause right there, y'all, because I really believe that my mother believed that she loves us and she loves her children, and now she has grandchildren and she wants to love her grandchildren. You know, I'm mocking her a little bit. Forgive me. Right? But it's like a person on welfare. They think $50,000 is a whole lot of money. But I know people that blow $50,000 in 6 months on golf. Just on golf in 6 months. And that's just that's just them. One of their hobbies. Extracurriculars. They still have their wife. They still have their 3 kids. So what is it? $50,000 is not a lot of money, Mom. I know it is to you. So I relate that to love. She thinks this is love. And even convinced me of it. That left me so, like, just lost. Drinking alcohol until I got liver disease. Narcissists say they love you and even believe it. They may for a time put you on a pedestal and treat you like royalty. After they have shown their cruelty, they may at times appear remorseful and make promises to change. Under certain circumstances, they may behave benignly, even affectionately and generously. Remember those circumstances I told you about? Isolated in Vegas, cousin passed away. Now you're thinking about the fact that you don't have a great relationship with your kids. I remember my pastor wife. You know what pastor wife said? She said, if you want to have friends when you get old, you might want to be nice to your kids. Woo! I know I keep stopping y'all, but this is the topic for tonight. What may appear fleeting to be love is conditional and self-serving. It is at best sentimental attachment or idealization, which will crash and burn into disappointment, mounting criticism and rage, serial abuse, and possible abandonment, no matter how high you were elevated and how special you felt. Work! Why narcissists will never love you. Pathological narcissists can't love. They are developmentally arrested at a formative age, probably somewhere around 2 to 4 years old, having experienced disruptive attachment with their primary caregivers. Remember, my mom's mom was murdered, and then they inherited a Cruella de Vil type stepmother. Beat the dog crap out of my grandfather's children, didn't lay a finger on hers. Okay, her children would actually put their hands on her and get no disciplinary action. But my mom and her siblings, they got whips on their body. They got marks on their body to this day, 40 years later. So, having experienced disrupted attachment with their primary caregivers, which may also trigger a genetic predisposition, people who compensate with narcissistic adaptations rarely make up for early developmental deficits. They fail to integrate a stable sense of identity and self-esteem, and they do not learn to engage empathetically with others, remaining primitively egocentric throughout their lives, no matter how sophisticated they may become in other areas. And that's what we're looking to do, y'all. If you've been through trauma, you have to integrate this thing into your life. You cannot go bleeding on people who didn't cut you. Lacking a resilient sense of selfhood and plagued by shame and self-doubt, narcissists wear a mask of entitled superiority and work continuously to repress their feelings of inadequacy and banish the possibility that others may see their weakness and fear. Narcissists can't love you because they, and there's 10 bullets here, I believe, because they, 1, are developmentally stunted young children. 2, never learn to love themselves. 3, don't care what other feels. 4, are consumed by their own needs and always see them as paramount, their needs. I'm going somewhere with this, y'all, okay? 5, project their lack of empathy onto others. Lack, okay? Lack of self-awareness. 7, don't understand emotional nuance. 8, view others as inferiors to be humiliated, competitors to be defeated, or superiors to be won over. 9, see life as a war zone. And 10, ultimately despise any club that would have them as a member. It's sad. It's a really, really, really hurt person. Why is it dangerous to love a narcissist? My bad, y'all. I usually print double sheet. As pitiable as it may seem, NPD by nature is an abusive disorder. She loved to say, I was a disciplinarian. I know what discipline is, okay? My dad was a disciplinarian, okay? And he used that as the last resort. You? Knock it off. But again, that goes back to the lies and the lack of self-awareness and the lack of empathy. I was a disciplinarian. You call hitting a little boy in the head with a pot discipline? Who was defenseless? Carry on. To varying degrees, most of us try to live by the golden rule: do unto others as you would have done unto you. Narcissists violate that code as a matter of course, viewing it with cynical contempt. Their mantra is "it's all about me," and their code is to get what they believe is theirs no matter the cost to others. Particularly malignant narcissists walk through life crushing everyone in their path, dominating the pack, ruthlessly and sadistically. Loving a narcissist means a world of hurt for you because he or she will never love you back, and it opens up to potentially devastating harm. Look at me. People with NPD never learn to play nice. And then, let me go through it. Manipulate, exploit, lie, project, betray, hold grudges. Oof, hold grudges. I'll get in trouble in July. You ain't getting nothing for Christmas. Damn, Christmas ain't nothing I could do to make up for it. Christmas. 6 months, I can't get nothing. Stand on that too. Deny, shame, blame, mock, bait, belittle, neglect, stonewall, scapegoat, play favorites, take revenge, terrorize, torture, and punish in a myriad of ways. They will isolate you from support, destroy your self-esteem, kill what you love, blame you for their behavior, and abuse you emotionally, psychologically, physically, and or sexually. By the grace of God, I was never sexually, touched. You know what I'm saying? My cousins might bring her cousins over, and we might, but the adults never did nothing crazy to us. You are an object to them, not a someone, and they feel justified in treating you with scorn and bringing you to your knees. Think you can change them? Tame their defenses and rage? Reparent and heal them? Finally win their love with your devotion, kindness, and self-sacrifice? Then you are exactly who they are looking for. I read that with a little bit of passion, didn't I? You see, I didn't even know what narcissism was until 2019. Right before number 19 hit hard. I love this woman. I was loyal to her for many years. I'm talking in my childhood, right? From 0 to 18. I would lay down and die for this woman. That's how much I loved. She say jump, I say how high. And all she do is move the goalposts. And all my life, I look back on my ex-relationships, and if my ex-girlfriends didn't teach me nothing that I didn't learn until after we were done, is that I would say, why wasn't I good enough? And they would say, you're not good enough. You are more than enough, Romeo. But I couldn't see it. Especially not with that bottle in my life. I definitely can't see it with the bottle in my life. It's addictive, it's depressing, it's just adding fuel to this goofy fire. Well, it ain't goofy. I'll take that back. So anyway, y'all, let's get into this conversation me and my mom had. She sent out, she asked me what I want for Christmas. I said, I don't want that. Don't send me nothing. You know what I mean? My nickname is Snoopy. When she was pregnant with me, they said her belly looked like Snoopy from Peanut's nose. Like his nose. It wasn't like round. It was more like stuck out like a, Snoopy nose. So we talking and we talking. We was on the phone for about 2 hours last night, y'all. And it got to a point where I'm kind of feeling like a doctor in his chair with his leg crossed and a pen and a pad, just kind of observing my mother's behavior. Don't get me wrong, I'm having to regulate myself, like refrain from reacting. But I just want to touch on some of the things that I wish I could do a better job. I should have took notes or something like that, but I'm going to just go off the rip. Somehow, some way, we would get on topics like talking about my sister, right? One thing, she was like, yeah. Now, mind you, my sister was texting her while we was talking, right? But I still don't understand who she thinks she is calling DCFS on me. Interesting. Well, my sister went to school one day having a panic attack, okay? My sister was supposed to be born in August. She was born in May. Okay? Her twin was born in April, the day after my birthday. She didn't make it, right? Twin A passed away. She didn't make it. They was fraternal twins, so that they was in different water bags. Right? Twin A didn't make it. 2 weeks later, twin B comes out, fit in the palm of your hand, and had to stay in a hospital for 6 months. Maybe longer than that. You know how much development that, give my sister some grace. Yes, my sister has her issues. You are her mother. You got issues. But then went on to, I don't think she went to school telling on you. I think she went to school having a panic attack and they pulled it out of her. She was in a very vulnerable state. Like, yeah, they going, hey, sit down, baby. What's going on? My mommy I'm scared. Like, you know what I mean? She's in second, third grade. You don't think an adult can extract some information from her in that vulnerable state? But guess what? Her new nursing license was on the line. Now listen, I love my mama, y'all. It took me time to get here. In the beginning, I resented her, I regretted her. I'm pulling up with my beautiful girlfriend and BMWs and pocket full of money, and it didn't make me feel better. And if anything, then she wanted to idolize me. Look at my son. Oh my God, look at my daughter. Hold on, that ain't the no. Confused me even more. Where the bottle at? Pull up. So that was one thing, right? Then she started talking about her kids, me and my sister. Y'all my biggest investment. That's what she been saying that her whole life. And now as an adult, I used to just be offended. Like, listen, how can you? I understand what you mean. I understand where you're getting at with it. But how can you look at us like? How can you an investment? We are your children. We are not something that goes up and down and you cash out at the end. And then it kind of fails to, when she mentioned something about my sister saying DCFS or whatever, or telling her, I'm like, I said, Mom, I don't think you realize how vicious you were. Oh yeah, I know, I know. Like, what does one say? Minimizing it, just minimize. Oh yeah, I know. But then wanna, what's the word? Hang my sister for what she did, but minimize what she did to cause that situation. Mind you, when I was a kid, guess what, y'all? DCFS ended up in our house. I'm in 4th grade. About the same age as my sister. DCFS ended up in our house. I ain't telling her. Right? Secrecy was the code in our house. Don't tell nobody nothing. 75 degrees. Why you got on a long sleeve, wrong? I don't want to talk about it. Let's go. I don't never want to talk about it. See, that's, if anybody knew me or loved me, they did. But anyway, when I say I want to talk about it, it's something wrong. Right? I got to learn how to express myself, right? So I said, Mom, you realize when DCFS, like, wink, wink, why this DCFS constantly ending up in your house? I didn't call them. As a matter of fact, I lied for you. The man said, do you get abused? Abuse? What's that? Mind you, I'm looking at 3, 4 objects right now that are broken because you, somehow, some way, they got broke on my body. Or I got slammed into it, or you threw it at me, or, you know what I'm saying? And she's so crazy, she'll throw something at you, miss, the shit break. Now she more mad at you. She more enraged. I forgive myself for all that drinking. Internally, I was broken. I was hurt. Not only was I broken and lost, I was hurt. How could somebody that I'm trying to get to love me do this to me? But I'm not understanding the full dynamics of this thing at this age. Even in my 20s, I'm not understanding. And then going out to alcohol, working on the golf course, that didn't help. I had the perfect job to be a degenerate drinker. So then, y'all, I'm going to top this off with the best part of it all, right? It's my father's death day. Now, my father was an abusive man towards his wives. He made some mistakes there. He had a little anger towards women. Well, actually, one of the last, not one of the last, well, I don't know, but the last phone call he made was to his wife, ex-wife, whatever they had going through at that time. It's like they were separated, but then when he died, it's like, nah, I don't know. He called his wife and said, can you please forgive me for all the times I was abusive? And she said, of course. An hour later, she get a phone call. He gone. So, yes. And to this day, I understand, Ma. You know what I'm saying? You lost your mama. You inherited an abusive stepmama. Then my daddy, you got pregnant by my father. And y'all parents and grandparents recommended that y'all get married. And this man was abusive towards you. My mother has a split on her lip to this day. Split her lip while I'm in the back seat of the car. He driving, she in the passenger. I'm behind the passenger, and I don't know what he did, but he hit her with the side of his hand. And my father's a massive man, and split her lip. That's when she divorced him and left. So I understand he did something wrong. He did now. He gone. He ain't never coming back. And he asked for forgiveness. We all need forgiveness. That's why we should forgive and be forgiven. All right, what they saying? Hey, forgive those who, well, I guess they get it from the Bible. Forgive those who trespassed against us as y'all know the saying. My brain going fast right now. You know what she's saying? Yeah, And I can't believe his dumb ass. Yeah. He was so smart, but so stupid. Now at this point, y'all know I'm at peace. I know who I'm dealing with when it comes to her. You know, this is new. We just started talking again once my cousin died, and that was a slow little process. And now it's Christmas, right? And that's narcissists. Like, they love Bonnie. Once they start to get comfortable, then you get to see this that same motherfucker that's yeah. Excuse my language, y'all. You know, I be trying to watch my language on these videos because come off professional. But today I'm on one a little bit, y'all. Excuse me. Stupid this, dumb that. Can't believe. Now, I'm thinking that she calling him these derogatory terms because he chose to take his life and leave his family and his friends behind. You know, one time she had the nerve to inject all that bullshit he did to me. You know who he talking to, right? Talking to his only son. You know where he at, right? He in the grave. That's what I'm talking about with that apathetic attitude and that lack of empathy and that lack of awareness. But when it comes to her, that's no big deal. No big deal. Now imagine a little kid. I knew my mama didn't love me when I was 5, 6 years old. I knew it. And you think I'm crazy, but I was at Above and Beyond, and I was in his family trauma with Bonnie, and we was doing some type of family trauma stuff, and I was like, Bonnie, am I crazy? Because sometimes I'll be like, I knew at 5, 6 years old that my mama didn't love me. She said, nope. And she gave an example. She said something happened, and my 3-year-old son was in the room, and he came to me and he said, Mommy, Daddy doesn't love me. We not dumb. We not dumb. Our intuition know. Our heart know. This lady busting my room. 4, 5, she love that. That's another topic we brought up. Busting in people's rooms like you think, you know what I'm saying? You don't understand, you don't think that's violating? I could be asleep. I could be counting some money that you don't know about. I could be doing anything. I could be exploring my body or watching something I ain't supposed to be watching or flipping through a magazine. You know what I'm saying? Anything. Boundaries. What if I'm writing in my journal? He dead. He gone. It's his death day. 6-year anniversary. And you talking about what happened in 1991 and 1992. Go vent to your friend, not to his son. On his day. Now, imagine a little boy that got to deal with this for 18 years. Mind you, when I knew she didn't love me, I said, I couldn't cope with that as a child. Alice Miller talks about that in the drama of The Gifted Child. A child would rather be bad in a good world than good in a bad world. Meaning, I turned it all on me. And me, I'm a go-getter. If I want something, I'm going to get it. Oh, no, I didn't get that. What's it at the end? Hey, how Julie closed it up? She said, think you can change them? Question mark. Tame their defenses and rage? Question mark. Repair and heal them? Question mark. Finally win their love with your devotion, kindness, self-sacrifice, loyalty? Question mark. Then you are exactly who they are looking for. See, all I got to do is do the work. People didn't already trailblaze this path, y'all. And they wonder why I drink so much. Just stop drinking, man. This helping me. This helping me numb out. It's lean all around me, pills all around me, coke all around me, drugs all around me. Just give me the alcohol. Smoke a little weed. That's socially. I don't even like smoking weed, especially not no indicas. If I smoke some weed, I want a sativa. You know, them indicas, I feel like I done drank some NyQuil off that stuff. Zaza! I call it Kush. Anyway, back to the point. Imagine what's going to happen to the psyche of this young child. First off, a child becomes healthy. A child individuates by healthy dependence. Healthy dependence leads to healthy independence. Oh, y'all ain't seen none yet. And this just happened yesterday. This me reconnecting with her. These ain't me bringing up stories from the past of, you know what I mean, why I may have drank so much and why the trauma may have led to so much drinking. You see, people not really, they talk about it, but not really. Me, that's the meat and potatoes. Or when I talk about sobriety and recovery, is those people who have been through trauma, so they turn to drinking. You know, even you don't hear me talk about gambling that much. That's a habit that I had. That you know homies just shoot dice in the basement in the concrete or on the carpet, and then start going to casinos, and you know what I mean. But that's stupid. That's stupid. I'm over that. I'm not. I work too hard for my money now. I always have. When I was working at the golf course, 2,500 a week cash. You know what I'm saying? Like what you got to make like 4,200, 4,300 to net 25. No problem. Getting drunk. Not working hard, not thinking hard, just getting drunk. Not wasted, but you know what I'm saying? Getting drunk, walking the golf course. Want anything from Happy House? Yeah, give me a vodka lemonade, man. And a chicken salad. Now, whoo, gotta earn this little chump change. But that's okay. We all gotta, you know what I'm saying, hit the reset button, get a taste of what it really takes, you know what I mean, before you really elevate. Can you believe that? And I didn't say a word. I played it off. You know, we got off the phone. I love you, you know what I'm saying? Because I do love her. And I will continue to love her. Because if either of us die, I don't want it to be no. I want it to be like, you know what? I got to enjoy this woman who lived on an earth that was dark and who did the best that she could. My father always said, if they knew better, they'd do better. You know, and then as I'm having this conversation with her, you know, that was one thing. Then I'm talking about her busting in people's room. I said, Maria. When I said Maria, I said, Ma. The first time I was sleeping at my ex-girlfriend's house, right? She snuck me in. You know what kids do in our early 20s. She snuck me in. Her mama knocked on the door. Tap, tap, tap. Instantly, I'm on high alert. First off, I'm shocked that she knocking on the door. I'm thinking it's finna be followed by somebody opening the door. You know what I'm saying? I'm down there under the covers like, door lock. Mama didn't even attempt to open the door. So I wake my girlfriend up. Like, come on, I know you hear that tap. She, Moy. You know, she is Syrian. They speak Arabic. You know, she, Moy. That mean like what? Yes. You know, hashalak, lock. You know, whatever. You know, don't forgive me, y'all. You know, I'm just, you know, they speaking their tongue. And then she, no. My mama go away. I mean, when I say I had eyes like the people on Cartoon Network, like, damn! Not only did she knock on the door, she talked to you through the door, and then she went away without coming in? Boundaries, something I never knew of, you know? My mother gonna say something like, oh, well, I was doing it too, but I'm still gonna come in. It ain't like nothing I ain't seen before. Now you lying. You know good on doggone well, if you was to come into my room and there was a girl in my bed, you wouldn't just be like, ah, y'all, I've been there too. Y'all need some condoms? You would have caused hell. I damn near would have been leaving with the girl. So y'all, that's what this Trauma Drinker channel is about. That's how I'm bringing it together with myself. You know, I want it to be so perfect in the past. I tried this past April, like, come on, let's make it right. I think you don't gotta get it right. You just have to get it going. Just like when I was selling them F-150s on the new F-150s on the lot. Man, that was so fun because I got to take care of people. I wasn't just one of them, you know, sleazy used car salesmen. I actually took pride in knowing my product. Well, Jerome, this XLT is $40,000. Why is the Lariat $65,000? Well, let me tell you. Where would you like me to start? The exterior, the interior, the technology, the mobility, and break it down for them. Why did I bring up selling cars? But as navigating this conversation with my mom, I even at one point I said, "Mom, let's just change the direction." I said, "Let's just change the topic." No, we don't gotta change the topic. Like, she's not sounding aggressive, but I know that she's, I could tell that she's, her antennas going up, right? This is just a random passage from a book. I'll show it to you. It's by a lady named Jasmine Lee Corey, The Emotionally Absent Mother. All right. And I'm actually dialing in because I'm like, bro, you got a lot of resources. You know what I mean? You got a lot. I find that most of us do not understand how strong our psychological defenses are. A narcissist's natural, a nar, I'm telling you this, I'm not reading this. A narcissist's natural state is defense. It's like walking on eggshells. You don't want to say, like, whoa, what the, oh, my bad. Now I'm going to read this from the top without interrupting. I find that most of us do not understand how strong our psychological defenses are. It takes a flexible ego to take in what will make us feel bad. Your parenting sucked. See, I did it anyway. In mothers who are not healthy, what you will receive instead is denial. It didn't happen. Minimizing. It wasn't so bad. Playing victim. Or going on the attack. And this is the thing. She says, I love you. She actually calls me her first love. Not just I love you. I love you, my first love. My mother never learned how to love. It's sad. It's unfortunate. It's not my job to teach her that. It's not my responsibility to teach her that. It's a lot of work me doing it for my dang on self. But I'll tell you one thing. Diamonds are made in the rough. And despite the fact that at 34 years old, I didn't have very much, you know what I mean? I don't even, this ain't the topic for that right now. I'm going to get into it. Started with nothing. Zero. I was homeless again. And even though the last 20 months I've still been drinking, I've still been able to maintain not going homeless again. But this stuff is driving, you know what I mean? And I know it. Like, y'all, listen, I lack so much confidence in myself. I allow fear to rule so much more than faith most of the time. Tell me that ain't crazy. That man dead. She on the phone with his son. Dumbass. Stupid ass. Like my daddy used to do. He used to get that rock eyebrow. My pops used to do that all the time. You say something crazy. That's how I'm on the phone like. I can't even do it. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? This eyebrow go down, that one come out like. The fuck? So, got a lot of work ahead of us, but this story is to inspire you and to inspire myself and to just go live my dream of really being a YouTuber and an internet marketer. Yeah. Sharing my story and building the skills of marketing, sales. I enjoy those things. If this product is going to serve your needs, let's make an exchange. You need a tie? You need a pie? Boom. And for me, more so than about sobriety, this is about transformation. Integrating all of this. Yes, I screwed up my life based off the decisions that I made. But yes, I can integrate all of that and evolve. You know? My mom made some big, interesting decisions, and she still is. May God bless her heart. You know, and she said some things where she opened up, like, I'm not happy, you know, she missed her boyfriend who was, you know what I'm saying, this dude, he did something dumb. She like, I just knew I shouldn't have told you. Yeah, you right. Yeah, you right. And she know how my friends coming. Once my friends come pick me up, they not letting up. They don't care if I stay in the car. It's up. We ain't come outside like we ain't risk seeing the police for nothing. Handle that. So that's 39 minutes, y'all. You know I love y'all for real, for real. I share my story. I'm vulnerable. I don't care. When I was broke, busted, disgusted, they hated on me. When I was getting money with the baddest chick in the city, they was hating on me. And I didn't pick up at the club. That was my high school sweetheart. Yeah. Homecoming game, she got on my jersey. All the other girls mad at me. Girls coming home from college to see me. What you doing with your jersey on? What you doing with it not on? That was my dog, my roadie. Yeah. Take a charge for me, but I won't let her do nothing like that. So, I love y'all. We gonna keep coming, and I'm gonna get clear. I know for January, I really want to do the alcohol experiment. You know what I mean, and really kind of break down, do that with y'all, and just grow. Ain't that what that's about, baby? Grow through what you go through. With that one, it's your boy Romeo Jones, Traumio, Trauma drinker. Later, y'all. Have a good night, or wherever you at. Have a good one. Later. Win the day.